Welcome back to episode 2 of the Jessyl and Alex podcast.
You're so extra.
Today, we are going to dive into something that is sacred, that is something near and dear to our hearts. Leomar's
This is what happens when you record a podcast
birth
late
story.
at night. You're just like delirious slightly.
So we're laying in bed. This is a true story right now. We're laying in bed. It is 21:40-ish at the time. It's 21:50 right now. And she says, "Oh, Alex, we forgot to record a podcast. We record podcasts on Wednesdays, but Thursdays, but our calendars have been extremely busy.
We've been busy making vision boards, driving the kids, doing other things. Alex is coaching the TEDx speakers, and that's really thrown our schedule off. So we've been like trying to squeeze in, like, when are we going to figure this out? And yeah, it's been another busy weekend, and I finally like remembered last minute in bed, and I'm like, we gotta do this, man.
Neither of us are in our creative brain, but let me tell you, the 5 kids are asleep.
No, I've been in my creative brain for the last like 24 hours. But I was like, yeah, I don't have any juice right now to be creative. So Leomar story, easy.
Comes off.
Yeah, I can tell his story.
All right, so let's dive into it.
All right, so yeah, Leomar, for those of you who did not listen to the podcast before, he was definitely not planned. We were using protection. Protection broke. Ended up with a baby. So, based on my calculations of when I ovulated, because I was tracking, I was using a temp drop thermometer every night. I calculated that he should be born around January 15th, but with due dates, it's really a due month. They can be anywhere 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after. But in my head, we had already, as a family, all put in bets for different dates in January. So, surprise, surprise, when Leomar is born December 30th, we were all like, what? Because we all had, I think the earliest bet was like January 9th or 8th, something like that.
I said 8.
Yeah, that was the earliest. So none of us expected him to come before the new year. I definitely did not expect him to come before the new year. And I had been having pretty, like, not painful, but yeah, they were bothersome Braxton Hicks, contractions. And that morning around 6 a.m., I'm not too sure what time it was. I know it was before the sun came up. I just say 6 a.m. because the sun was rising around 7 at that time. And I was up for a bit before the sun came up. But I just had a really strong contraction, and I kind of fell back asleep, but then it happened again a few minutes later. I was like on day 5 of being sick because I had gotten sick right on Christmas Day on December 25th.
Like fevers and...
No.
Yeah, you had a couple fevers. Couple days of fevers, and they went away. First 2 days.
Okay, yes, you're right. I forgot about that. Yes, I did have a couple fevers. I did. I remember was just not having an appetite. So whenever I didn't eat well, obviously my Braxton Hicks got way worse. So that morning when I woke up, I thought that that's what was happening because the night before I hadn't eaten well because I didn't have an appetite. So I was like, well, let me get up, make myself some oatmeal with berries or something to just eat so these Braxton Hicks can go away. But as I'm in the kitchen, I'm like having a hard time making this. Whenever I get them, I'm like pausing and I'm stopping and I'm just like breathing. But I still wasn't thinking anything of it. I was just like, man, I'm really hungry. So I ate, and then I was just sitting on the couch after I ate, just waiting to see if they would subside and I can, lay back down. And while I'm sitting there, Alex comes out and he's like, what's up? Like, why are you sitting here? And I was like, and I explained everything I just said. And he's like, well, like, are you in labor? And I was like, I don't know. Like, even after 5 pregnancies, 5 births, like, I feel like it's hard to answer that question, especially early on. It's like, you just never really know. till you're like about to give birth and you're like, oh yeah, by the way, I am in real labor. Um, because it hasn't happened to every child, but like with Linabelle, it happened to me like 3 times where I swore I was in labor and I wasn't. So now I'm just like, I don't know anything. But yeah, do you want to say anything to this point?
Yeah, no, I mean, I came out and I saw her there and I was like, I don't want to say concerned, but I was just like, hey, you all right? She told me that. And then I was like, well, do you think you can have the baby today? She's like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, what was it, like 7 a.m. at that
Yeah,
point?
by
7.
then it was like 7.
And Kate Grayson had been telling me that he wanted to go to the beach to go surfing. And so I told him, okay, let's do this. But
Well,
hey, we had to get ready.
right before that, I do remember that when we were talking, when you asked me like, was I okay or whatever, I remember I did say, I'm having contractions. And I said, but these feel different. I was like, these feel like way deeper in my body. Like they don't feel like the ones I've been having the last few days. I remember I said that. And then that's when you were like, well, are you in like labor? And I was like, I don't know. All I can tell you is that these feel different. I was like, that's all I can say.
Yeah. And so for me, I've always leaned heavily on Jessyl, and she knows her body better than anybody. So I said, okay, well, we'll be here. I let Grayson sleep a few extra minutes, and then I woke him up because he had been telling us that he wanted to surf the night before religiously. And as I got him up, Giselle was like, "Hey, I think I might have a baby today."
No.
Yeah, right before I left, you said, "Hey, I think I might have a baby today."
Oh, I
And
remember saying that.
I said, "Okay."
I think I said we might. I don't know. I don't remember saying that, but maybe I did. I just know I don't remember saying anything to you. I remember that you guys were just like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to surf," and I said, "Do you really think that's a good idea?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna drop him off. I'll be back." And I was just like, "Okay." And in my head, I was like, "This is so stupid," but I was like, "I'm not gonna argue or fight right now," because him and I, like, within the last couple of weeks before that, we had talked about like, "Hey, what happens if I go to in labor like early morning?" And I was like, "Well, obviously you wouldn't take Grayson to surf." Like I remember you and I agreed on that. And he was like, "Yeah, of course not." I was like, "Okay." So then when this is happening, I'm like, I don't know if I'm in labor, but there's a high chance that I am. And then he's still gonna
Yeah,
take him
that's
to
what it was. You
surf.
didn't tell me that you were gonna have you
No.
didn't tell me you're gonna have a baby, but you're like, "I think I'm in labor."
And then I was like, I might be in labor. Like I might be in labor. Like I don't, I was like, there's no way of knowing right now. Like it's too early for me to tell.
Yeah.
So anyway, when he still was like, yeah, I'm taking him to surf, I was like, all right, whatever. You guys are gonna figure that out. So Alex leaves. You wanna say
Yeah, so I leave and I drive to the beach. It's a
but you
5-minute
left
drive.
you left Kaden with a job. Do you remember? You left Kaden with a job.
I don't remember the job. Tell me.
You started timing my contractions.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm in the room. I had gone to the bathroom. So while Alex was still here, I took a hot shower in the office bathroom. And then he helped me out. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go to our room. So I went to our room. And then I come out and Kaden's like sitting on the bed, cross legged with a notebook and a pen. And he's staring at me. And I'm like, what's up, Kaden? He's like, oh, dad told me to sit here and every time I hear you moaning or looking like you're having a contraction, to write down the time. And I look at his notebook and this part made me laugh even more. Like he wasn't writing them like in order. Like he had the times like one is on like the left top of the paper, the other one's on the right bottom. And I was like, how can he even tell? Like you had to like figure out, like when they give you those pictures and you have to like match the numbers to make the picture. It was like that. Like you had to match what time came first to figure out how many minutes in between because he wasn't even writing it in an order.
I do
But
remember that now.
but yeah, I started laughing. I was like, of course your dad told you to do that.
Yeah. And I had told him, I had timed them, and she was about, like, every 6 minutes she was having these contractions, like, pretty good contractions, and so I said, "Kaden, time these. If they get anywhere between, like, 2 to 3 minutes, you like she's about to give birth, and so I didn't know that he did that.
Well, another very interesting thing that this had never happened to me before was they weren't even lasting 20 seconds. They were anywhere from like 10 to 15 seconds. They were super short, like really short contractions. So that was like another reason why I didn't think I was in labor, because in the past my contractions have usually lasted like 30 seconds, 45, like even up to a minute. So I'm getting these like 10 to 15-second contractions and I'm just like, okay, is this really labor? I was like, this is very weird. But they were very intense. So I was like, okay, this is so weird because they are intense, but they're so short. Like they were
Yeah,
super short. But I was like, okay, like you never know. Things are always, different. Like who knows? So yeah, so then I'm just in the bathroom once Kaden told me what he told me. I mean, it was pretty obvious by then. I was like breathing or making audible sounds through each one. And by then I was like, okay, I am in labor. But then I was like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna give, birth in the next hour or I'm gonna be here for the next 6 hours. That was the part that I was like, I don't know.
yeah. So I took Grayson to the beach, dropped him off, and I turned around and I turned around and was driving home, and just so sends me a message that, "Hey, I'm gonna give birth soon."
Yeah. So I was in the bathroom and ever since my first pregnancy, every time I get nauseous or throw up, I'm basically hitting transition. And for anybody who doesn't know much about birth or labor, uh, usually once a woman hits transition, like the baby comes soon after. And once again, I'm only speaking for my own body. It has been the case that like once I hit transition, within like anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes, there's a baby. With Grayson, it took about 2 hours, and the reason I think it took that long was because he was the only one that went into a hospital. So it was like my body basically like slowed down and waited till I got in a room and all that, and then I gave birth. But ever since then, I hit transition and within a few minutes a baby. So I felt that feeling of needing to throw up and I thought I really was going to, and I opened the toilet. But ever since Grayson's birth, I threw up twice with Grayson's birth. And then when I had the same nausea with Caden and Linabelle and Lumian, I remember like telling my body, like, we're not doing this. Like, we're not throwing up again. Like, we're not. Like, you can get nauseous, but you will not throw up. So I was surprised. I was like, oh no, I think I'm gonna finally break the spell and I'm really gonna throw up. Like I opened the toilet and I was like, I'm going to throw up. But I didn't. It's like I trained my body to not do it. I was like, "You will not throw." I hate throwing up. It is not my thing. So cool. I didn't throw up, and as soon as that happened, I was like, "Oh damn, Alex!" And so I go back into the bathroom, and I'm like trying to text before my next contraction comes on, and I managed to like send a quick text of like, "Hey, I'm pretty sure I'm in labor. If you guys don't come back soon, like you're gonna miss the birth."
Yeah, I get that message at 8:48 AM, and I was already driving away, so I flip a U-turn, and I speed down to the beach, and I park the car, and I run up the beach path to where the surf shack is, and I meet Grayson as he's walking towards the ocean. And I say, "Grayson, your mom is going to give birth. She's in labor. She's about to give birth. We need to go home." And so Grayson looks at me and he looks at the ocean, looks at me again, and he said, "But the waves are good, Dad." And I said, "Look, if you don't come, you're going to miss the birth." And there was another woman on the beach that we knew, and she looked at Grayson and she said, "Grayson, there's waves any other day of the year. Go watch your little brother be or your little brother be born." So he sadly walked away. He was devastated because the waves were amazing. He walked away. We ran to the car, and we get in there and we speed back. We speed back to the house. And I remember pulling up to the driveway and turning the van off. And uh, as soon as I opened the door, you could hear Jessyl. And I say, open the doors of the van. So I was still outside. You could hear Jessyl screaming, like because she was obviously going
Okay, it
through.
wasn't screaming.
Well,
Like to me, a scream is like, "Ah."
Okay, you were grunting. She was making
It was more like a very loud.
Yeah, very loud.
Okay.
She wasn't ready.
All right, Kevin Hart.
No, so listen, and I look at Grayson. I'm like, "Yep, she's about to give birth." He just giggles. We both giggle. Grayson's always been a little uneasy around Jesyl's pregnancies. He gets a little nervous.
Not pregnancies, births.
Births. He gets a little nervous. So.
Oh, he's like that poor child's scared of everything.
So we get in the house. I walk in the house at 8:57 or 8:58, one of the two. And I go into the bathroom. I go into our room, and I see that the towel's already in the middle of the floor, like it's prepped. They prepped it, and I see Jesyl's in the bathroom, and I see the girls are on the bed, just sitting there on the bed, like not confused. They just woke up, but they were excited. Caden was excited. He was kind of debriefing me everything. And I go into our bathroom, and Jesyl's propped up against the door into the toilet room, because we have a toilet and shower, and then we have where our sink.
It's like a 3-compartment bathroom. It's like
bathroom.
you walk in, it's the double sinks. To the right is our closet. To the left is the toilet and the shower with another door.
So she was leaned up on the left on that door, and she's moaning. And then all of a sudden, as I'm in there, her water breaks. Boom.
Which that's a first time for me. My water has never broken before until like the baby's head is literally emerging. So I was surprised. I was like, oh, that's what it feels like to have your water like just break and splash down on the floor. It literally sounded like somebody spilled a bucket of water. Like,
yeah. So I know my roles in these things. So I check her water. I make sure the AC's cranked on. AC's cranked on. Her water's empty. So I give it to Grayson. I say, Grayson.
He's talking about my water bottle.
Yeah,
You're like, my water.
Yeah,
the water from my stomach was empty.
Her water bottle. I fill her water, her water bottle, and I know that's empty. So I look at Grayson. He's right next to me. I say, Grayson, go get ice, because she likes ice water. Go get ice and water and fill it.
And while he's saying this, like I can hear him. I'm in one of my loud like, and I'm hearing Alex say this, and I'm like, why is he sending this child away? Like this is not the moment to send him away. But I could not talk. I was literally in the thick of it, and I am feeling this baby like move down my body. And one of the things that I have used in, I think, almost every single pregnancy or birth, and I think it works really well, is like opening up your mouth. They say that your mouth and your cervix are connected. So like if you have a tight jaw, tight mouth, tight shoulders, like everything in your body is also going to be tight. So part of my being audible is just keeping my jaw loose and opening my mouth up wide, and to allow my body to do the same. So I'm feeling this baby like move like a rocket through my body, and I hear Alex say that, and I literally like my brain wanted to like, don't send him away right now, but I couldn't say anything.
So I send him away. I get the mop. The mop was in the bathroom, and I start like trying to clean up her water. She moves into the to the bedroom where the pallet was on the floor, and I stop. For some reason, I stop, and I just start walking into the room. And I mean, it was dark. We had dark blackout curtains, so you couldn't really see. But she had said, she's like, the baby's coming, and obviously she gets into a position, and I'm able to get my phone out to try to start recording, and I start recording, and the baby comes at 9:04. Leomar. Grayson was still outside.
No, that's not no. So you just messed that all up. I was on the floor on all fours, and it was like literally the final contraction of when Leomar came out, and literally like 10 seconds before he came out, you said, Grayson, go put ice in her water. He literally walks out, the door shuts, and as soon as the door shuts, Leomar came out.
Okay.
That's what happened. So then like Grayson comes back in with the cup, and he's like, what happened? And I was like, the baby was born. He's like, what? He had literally left the room for like 20 seconds, and in those 20 seconds is that the baby was born. I remember he didn't want to go because like when you told him, he was like, oh, and you're like, your mom likes ice water. Just go get her ice. And but he didn't want to leave the room. And Kaden was like, I knew he was coming. I could tell. That's why I sat down really close. And I was looking. But
just means we have to have one more kid.
Yeah. You'll have the next one. Yeah. So funny thing, that first time for me too. I had never pooped myself during birth. And if you don't know, this is something very common that happens in many births because obviously there's just so much pressure down there. Sometimes other things come out too. And I turn around and I just see Lumi like holding her nose and she's just like, ew, it stinks. And I'm like, what's going on? And Alex is like, you pooped yourself. And I was like, oh great. I was like, this is not embarrassing whatsoever.
Yeah, and I can't remember who was recording, but they got it all on camera.
It was Linabelle.
It was Linabelle.
Linabelle has the phone, and I think she got a close up of every angle of my body that she could of my backside. So I was like on all fours on this, little I guess pad that I created for giving birth, and I did not catch this baby. This baby literally flew out of me. The body literally just ejected him. There was no pushing on my end. I actually had just finished a contraction and I was like, oh, on the next contraction, like I might give a little push to see if he comes out. And before the next contraction came, like literally as soon as the contraction finished, my body just like squeezed and he flew up. Like it wasn't like, oh, the head crowned and then the body came. No, it was just like boom, all the way out. Like the whole baby came out and just dropped on the floor. And the kids were like, Mom, you just let him fall. And I was like, there was nothing I could do to stop that. Like that baby flew out of me faster than I could think. Like what was happening.
And you said it tore you a little bit too.
Oh yeah, I tore a little bit. I could feel that. But I mean, everything healed up. Everything's great. Placenta came out within 5 minutes, if that. I don't know. No, oh no, this one
was the
took
longest.
longer.
It was
Oh
like
yeah,
30 minutes.
yeah, I wasn't timing it. Alex says it was about 30 minutes.
Well, I was timing it
No, you're
because, like for me, I've always learned, and especially our free births, my biggest concern or like if there was some anxiety to come up, it's not the placenta not coming out whole. So I'm always very hyper vigilance when
okay.
it comes time to the
Well,
placenta.
in my head, it took like 5 or 10 minutes. Alex told me it was like 30, but after a while, when he was like, "Oh, the placenta," it was also like all the kids were asking me a gajillion questions and like wanting to touch and hold the baby. They had all like put in bets and fought about who was gonna hold him first. So that was part of like guessing his birthday right. Was you would have the honor to hold him first if you were the one closest to his birthday.
And I technically won that, by the way.
Okay.
But because Grayson missed the birth,
Yeah,
and I
everybody.
have a soft spot in my heart.
No, so anyhow, I don't know, but when Alex mentioned the placenta, I was also like, oh yeah, I need to get this out. So eventually I just went into a deep squat, gave a little push. The placenta came out, we put it in the bowl. I don't even know who held him first. I
No,
really
Grayson
don't.
did.
Okay, Grayson
held
did?
him
Okay.
first.
I was like, I really don't know who held him first.
Yeah, Grayson held him first. 2 for 2, the last 2 pregnancies.
All right. Well, yeah, and then it's all the regular baby. You're super exhausted. They're waking up around the clock. I mean, like they sleep well like the first 2 days, and then it's like, they start waking up a lot more and this and that. Now we're 3 months in. He's doing really great. He only wakes up once or twice a night, which I know won't last forever either, but I'm enjoying it while it does. And yeah,
That's why we're here doing this podcast, because he's asleep.
yeah, he's asleep right now. He's probably gonna sleep till like 3 or 4 a.m., which is really nice. And I should probably be sleeping too, but I'm not.
Well, let's wrap it up. Do you have anything else before we?
I don't think so. There's nothing that. Oh, his name. Maybe how we came up with his name. It took us a few.
Oh yeah, this baby. No, let me
This
take
is
that
not
back.
the longest. No,
No, because Lumi didn't
because
have a
we
name
have.
for like 32 days.
Yes, Lumi. Both girls, Lumi and Lenavel, took us over 30 days to name the girls. Here, we could not afford that because you need to register them and get the paperwork
Yeah.
right away, or else it just gets more difficult
Yeah.
to go through that process. So I think we took about 2 weeks, and then we're like, we really need a name for this kid.
Yeah, we just like we got the business.
Yeah, we had chosen like Larimar. So Alex was stuck on the L, that it had to be another L name because we had Linneval, Lumi, Liam. There's two pregnancies I lost that we also did L's with. And then he was like, this one has to be another L. And I'm like, come on. I was like, this is getting really hard now. I was like, I don't know what other L names I like. So we started just writing down L names, like whatever it was. It didn't matter if we liked it, we didn't like it. We just started writing down L
We did a
names.
poll on I did a poll on Instagram and got like hundreds of names and back from it with all L's.
Yeah.
Leandro, Leo, Leonidas, Lylan, like all these random names that I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. This is cool.
Yeah. And we had to agree that we both like the Leo. And I also wanted something that you could see in Spanish and English that's been kind of my thing for the last like 3, 4 kids. I was like, I want my family to be able to say it because Grayson and Caden, they've forever had a hard time saying their names in Spanish.
Grayson.
And they're like, Grayson, Kaiden, Kaiden. So I was like, can we choose names that we can say in Spanish and English that aren't so hard to say? So that was like my thing. His thing was the L thing. My thing is like you got to say it in both languages somewhat easily. And we had talked about Larimar for a girl, but
Before,
then
yeah.
but then he was a boy. So then we're like, man, what are we gonna name him? And I always liked Leonardo, but I was like, it's such a common name. Like I don't want to give my child like such a common name. Like I want something more creative that we come up with. So I smashed
Well,
together.
and I liked Leo just because of
Yeah.
being a Leo myself, like Leo the lion.
Alex was a Leo.
Liam was a Leo,
Liam was a Leo.
and I was like, man, I like the name Leo, but it,
Yeah.
like Jessyl said, so many people have Leo, and I don't.
Yeah.
We
And I
want
was like,
unique.
we know a boy Leo, we know a man Leo. I've known other Leos in my life, and I'm like, not Leo.
Yeah,
So
and then
yeah,
Mod, we know a Mod.
we know Ahmad. So we're like, and that one I feel like is more like a girl name too. So but I love the Mod, and Lenovel had said like, if it's a girl, we're naming her Mod. And I was like, no, we already know a Mod. So I was like, we need to come up with a different name. And then Lenovel had also said that she liked Marcello, which is also like Amar. So then I was like, well, why don't we use like the things that all the kids kind of like and combine them? So we came up with the Leomar, and then Grayson for the second time had the honor of giving the middle name Rylan. And he was very upset that we choose his name as a middle name and not as a first name. he,
Yeah, he's
he
like, why
was
can't I name the kid? And I'm
he's
like,
like,
well,
that's not fair. Why do you guys get to name the kid and not me?
yeah,
And I said, look, Grayson, one day you can have all the babies you want and you can name them all. Or I mean, that's between you and your partner, but you guys are gonna figure that out. But I was like, you can give them whatever names you want.
yeah. So it's like a little homage to the Dominican Republic where he was conceived and born, Larimar, Leomar, and then obviously Lion Ocean, right? Mod Ocean. We're an ocean family. We're a water family, and we
And
felt like
Liam
it felt
being a
right.
Leo. Yeah.
Liam being a Leo, it kind of we really do feel like. I mean, I can speak just for me specifically. I feel like Leomar is really medicine for everything that's happened in the last 2 years, and we're just so grateful for him. And obviously, we want to, they're both separate babies. Liam is Liam and Leomar is Leomar, but we felt like it would be a really cool homage to be able to incorporate a little bit of him as we move forward with our new baby.
Yeah. And I think we all had a hard time calling him by his name for like the first month. We were all calling him Liam. Like
Yeah,
everybody. Every now and then it slips. We're getting better at it, but like I would say for the first month, everybody in the family was like Liam, Liam, and then we're like, oh, Leomar.
yeah. Well, and Grayson actually made this. I told you this at basketball one day. He's like, Dad, if you break the name up into two, it's actually Liam R.
Yeah, like if you take the M to the other side, it kind of does say
It's
Liam and then
Liam.
Liam and then AR.
And if
And
you
I was
say it
like,
really fast, it's like Liam,
yeah,
Liam R.
yeah.
Grayson made that.
I didn't make that connection till he said that, and I was like, oh, whoa. I was like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Leomar's birth story in a snapshot. I think we're gonna get to bed now.
Yeah. So stay tuned for the next couple episodes, and Jesyl's going to talk about something big that's happening for her.
Am I?
Yeah.
I love when Alex drops these because I don't even know what he's talking about.
Dun dun dun.
Stay tuned.